My name is Kate, and I am a keeper of secrets that are not my own. I am his nurse, but I know his wife's secret. Every day, I wash his body. I soothe his pain. I look into his wise, tired eyes. And every day, his wife visits with her perfect smile and her perfect lies. I know where she goes when she leaves this quiet, beautiful prison. I know the truth. And this truth is a poison in my veins. This is a story about duty and the terrible weight it can carry. This is a story about lies spun in silk and perfume. This is a story about the most painful choice I have ever made. I have been a nurse for 10 years. In that time, I have held the hands of the dying and ushered new life into the world. I have learned that medicine can mend bones, but it cannot mend a broken heart. It cannot cure betrayal. I work in a mansion, a silent, gilded cage on a hill. It is so quiet here. You can hear the dust settling on the grand piano. You can hear the echo of a lonely man's sigh. His name is Arthur. He is 70 years old, a king dethroned by his own failing body. A stroke last year left him fragile, his once strong legs now useless, his left hand a gentle curled weight. He needs me for everything, to eat, to dress, to move from his bed to the chair by the window where he watches the world go on without him. He is a kind man, the kindest I have ever known. His hair is a cloud of white, his eyes the color of a faded summer sky, and so often, so terribly sad. He was rich. He built an empire with his own 2 hands. But money is a useless currency here. It cannot buy back a single step. It cannot buy genuine love. I learned that bitter lesson in this very house. Then there is her, Alina, his wife. She is 40, a summer storm to his gentle winter. She is breathtakingly beautiful, with hair like spilled ink and clothes that cost more than my monthly rent. She smells of jasmine and deceit. When she hired me, she took my hands in hers, her touch cold, her diamonds sharp. "Take care of my Arthur," she said, her voice a sweet melody. "I love him more than life itself." I believed her. God help me, I wanted to believe her. Our days have a rhythm, a slow, predictable waltz. At 8, I open his curtains, letting the sun touch a face that yearns for it. "Good morning, Arthur," I say. "Good morning, dear Kate," he replies, his words measured, careful from the stroke. I bathe him, I shave him, I feed him his oatmeal. We talk of simple things, the birds, at the feeder, the shape of the clouds. He is a scholar, a thinker, trapped in a broken vessel. At 10, the perfume arrives first. Then she glides in, a vision in silk, always carrying flowers, red roses. Always red roses. "Good morning, my love," she chirps, brushing her lips against his forehead. She places the roses in a vase, a splash of violent color in the sterile room. Arthur's face, it transforms. It lights up with a hope so fragile it shatters me. He looks at her as if she hung the moon just for him. You look beautiful today, he whispers, his good hand reaching for hers. She stays for 20 minutes. She talks of errands, of charity boards, of a life that buzzes with purpose. And then she leaves. Always she leaves. Take care of him, Kate, she says on her way out, her eyes meeting mine. The warmth for him is gone. In its place, a cool, calculated dismissal. And the room, it deflates. The hope in Arthur's eyes dims, replaced by that familiar, aching sadness. She's very busy, he'll say, making excuses for her absence. My heart would crack a little more each time, but I am a nurse. I notice details. The faint buzz of a hidden phone, the secret, fleeting smile that touches her lips when she reads a text, the silk blouses and high heels she wears to the gym, the way she practically runs from this house, a bird fleeing its gilded cage. Then I heard it. One afternoon, in the hollow hallway, her whispered phone call. A voice I had never heard, soft, breathless, in love. I miss you too. He's sleeping. Meet me at the usual place. She turned and saw me. The color drained from her perfect face, replaced in an instant by a mask of icy control. How long have you been standing there, Kate? My mouth went dry. I just came for water, I lied, the words ash in my mouth. I protected my job. I protected my ability to care for him. But I began to carry her secret, and it was a lead weight in my soul. The proof came on a rain-lashed night. My car broke down outside the estate. In the back of a taxi stopped at a red light, I saw it. Her white convertible gleaming under a street lamp. And inside the candle-lit restaurant window, her. In a red dress like a splash of blood. Laughing. Leaning across the table to kiss a handsome, young stranger. A kiss that held everything she never gave to Arthur. The taxi pulled away, but the image was seared into my mind. I vomited when I got home. The betrayal was not an idea anymore. It was flesh and blood and wine-stained lips. The next morning, the grand house felt like a tomb. Arthur was already awake, staring out at the gray dawn. "Good morning, Kate," he said, his voice heavier than usual. "You look tired." I didn't sleep well, I admitted, checking his pulse. It was racing. "My heart hurts, Kate," he said softly. I froze. "Your heart? Is it pain? Shall I call the doctor?" He turned those ocean blue eyes on me, and I saw a depth of understanding that stole my breath. "No, not that kind of pain." A long, weary sigh. "Kate, you are an honest woman. I value that." He paused, gathering the strength of his words. "Do you think my Alina is happy?" The question hung in the air, a guillotine poised to fall. I stammered. She smiles a lot." He let out a sound, a dry, brittle laugh that held a lifetime of disappointment. "Yes, she smiles." He looked at his frail hands. "She is young. I am old. I am a burden in this bed." "That doesn't mean she shouldn't love you," I said, fiercer than I intended. "Where does she go, Kate?" His voice was a whisper now, but it roared in the silent room. You know, I see it in your eyes. You are a terrible liar. Thank God. He reached out, his weak grip surprisingly urgent around my fingers. Please, do not treat me like a child. I am a man. I feel the distance. I feel the coldness in my own home. His eyes pleaded, full of a dignified, terrible pain. Tell me, what do you know? I looked at him, this good, kind, broken man. He did not deserve the pretty prison of her lies. He deserved the truth, however brutal. He deserved to die a man, not a fool. I took the deepest breath of my life. Arthur, last night, I saw her. He didn't flinch. She was in the city, at a restaurant. Was she alone? He whispered. No, I said, the word final as a coffin nail. She was with a man. Arthur closed his eyes. He didn't cry out. He didn't rage. He simply folded inward, a statue of grief. The only sound was the relentless tick-tock of the hall clock, measuring out his shattered peace. I see, he finally said. 2 words holding an ocean of sorrow. I am so sorry, Arthur. He opened his eyes. They were clear, devastated, but clear. No, do not be sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the respect of truth. Just then, the familiar purr of her car in the driveway. 10 o'clock, right on time for her performance. Arthur's body went rigid. She is here, he said, his voice changing, hardening. Shall I send her away? I asked quickly. Tell her you're unwell. No. He straightened against his pillows. A light I had never seen before, a fierce, painful light, ignited in his eyes. No, let her come in. The curtain is falling on this particular play. The door swung open. Alina entered, a sunbeam in a yellow dress, carrying a bouquet of cheerful tulips. Good morning, my darling, she sang. Good morning, Alina, Arthur said, his voice a flat, cold stone. She leaned in for her customary kiss. Arthur turned his face away. Her lips met only the cold skin of his cheek. She recoiled, confusion flashing in her expertly made-up eyes. Arthur, what's wrong? He looked at her, really looked at her, as if seeing her for the very first time. The tulips are lovely, he said, his tone icy. Did you buy them on your way from the gym, or after your dinner last night? The room plunged into a deep freeze. The tulips trembled in Alina's hand. Her smile shattered. What do you mean? I was with my mother. Stop. Arthur raised his frail hand. A gesture of such finality it silenced her. Stop lying. Have some respect, for me, for yourself. Her gaze whipped to me, the mask of beauty twisted into something ugly, vicious. You, she hissed, venom dripping from the word. You little spy. What have you told him? Do not speak to her like that! Arthur's voice boomed, a thunderclap of fury from his weakened body. He began to cough, his face mottling with rage and strain. I rushed to him, holding his shoulders, offering water. "Arthur, please, breathe. Calm down." Alina stood frozen, a beautiful statue of guilt. She threw the tulips to the floor. "Arthur, listen to me." "I have listened to your fairy tales for the last time," he gasped, pushing the water away. "I gave you everything. My home, my name, my heart." His voice broke. "And you repaid me with lies. You were lonely? I was here. You wanted a life? You could have asked for your freedom, but you wanted the money and the fantasy. You are a coward, Alina." Her composure finally crumbled. Tears of frustration, not remorse, sprang to her eyes. "You are an old, sick man. What did you expect?" The cruelty of it hung in the air. Arthur looked at her, all hope finally extinguished. "Leave," he said, his voice now quiet, exhausted, final. "Get out of my house. Go to him. Go live the life you chose, but do not ever come back." She stared at him. She saw the unyielding truth in his face. The game was over. Without another word, she turned. Her heels struck the polished floor like gunshots, click, clack, click, clack, as she walked out of his life. The front door slammed. An engine roared. Then, silence. A profound, echoing silence. Arthur stared at the bright yellow tulips scattered on the dark floor like broken promises. "Kate," he said, his voice ragged. "Yes, Arthur. Would you please put those in the trash?" I gathered the ruined flowers, their cheerful color a mockery. I threw them away. When I returned, a single silver tear was tracing a path through the wrinkles on his cheek. "Are you all right?" I whispered, taking his hand. He shook his head slowly. "No, I am not all right. My heart is broken." He met my gaze, his eyes pools of raw, unflinching pain. "But it is my heart, and the lie is over." He squeezed my fingers with a strength I didn't know he had left. "Thank you, Kate. You are not just my nurse. You are my friend." That was 6 months ago. The silence in the house now is different. It is not the silence of waiting, but of peace. Arthur is stronger. The poison of suspicion is gone. We talk for hours. He tells me stories of building his company, of traveling the world, of a love he had before Alina, one that was true. The divorce is final. She took her money and vanished. The price of my freedom, Arthur calls it, a bargain. Some days the sadness visits him. He misses the ghost of the woman he thought she was. But then he looks out at his garden, at the real, unfiltered sun, and he breathes. This morning, I opened his curtains. "Good morning, Arthur." "Good morning, Kate," he said, and he smiled. A real smile. Tired, weathered, but real. "My name is Kate." This was my story of watching and waiting, and finally finding the courage to shatter a beautiful gilded lie. It was the hardest duty of my life. But I have learned this. Honesty is a scalpel. It cuts, it wounds, it leaves a scar. but only after the cut can true healing begin. The truth is the most profound medicine of all. Now, if you'll excuse us, the sun is shining, the birds are singing a song that isn't for show, and I am taking my friend Arthur into the garden to sit among the real, imperfect, and beautiful flowers. Be brave, be kind, and for God's sake, be true.